Okay. I'm here with Sean Birrell, co-founder of VERIDAPT. Sean, welcome. Thank you for taking the time.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Happy birthday to VERIDAPT, 20 years and counting.
It's
What do you think of that?
Look, we just were talking with the team then, and we touched upon the fact that the company sort of got a prehistory, I guess. But 20 years of developing a product and a solution. There's a lot to be said for that, and a lot of persistence and energy has gone into making sure that we've been around for that 20 years and continued to build with our customers and build with our partners and build ourselves internally over that time. So yeah, it's an interesting time to reflect back upon.
You have a bit of a reputation in VERIDAPT and in the tech space, in the wider tech space, as being quite the visionary. 20 years ago, the humble beginnings of what is now VERIDAPT. Did you see or have any idea 20 years ago what it would look like today, what VERIDAPT would look like today?
Yeah, it's obviously very easy to fit a story
Sure.
looking backwards. But look, I guess in some respects, the last 20 years has had sort of some big technology trends that I think that we've benefited from, and we had some early insights into, around some of the sort of industrial automation and the development of IoT. But certainly in other areas, it's a surprise as well. I think to be able to consistently build out a platform and to continue to find new ways to add value to our customers, to enter into new verticals like rail. I don't think that was, necessarily all part of the vision, sort of the breadth of it. So some of it you can look back on and say, oh yeah, look, I think we made some good bets, or maybe even good guesses, I guess. But we also, I think, have gone into areas that we didn't anticipate or didn't expect.
Just briefly, Sean, can you give us a glimpse into what today's VERIDAPT looked like 20 years ago on when this journey started?
Yeah, so look, I think it was really built upon, my uncle had been in the industry, in the fuel management industry, and had sold a solution. So he brought a lot of insight and customer knowledge to the table, and we teamed up to try to solve one part of the solution that hadn't been dealt with, which was sort of a rugged, robust, and reliable part of the solution. And so I think that's probably the bit of DNA that's threaded through that knowledge of the use, the customer uses and needs, the need for rugged, robust, reliable solution. And that's followed through. But what it looked like 20 years ago, obviously a lot different. It was very much bootstrapped. In terms of, we incrementally developed the hardware platform, we incrementally developed the software. We did it really hand in hand with our customers. We were very, very fortunate to get really great backing and support from some of our early customers that allowed us to kind of do this incremental development and this stage sort of approach to building out the solution. And we sort of earned their trust along the way, and they really repaid us in terms of their insights and their input and all of those kinds of things. So I think there's a DNA that is kind of common from then to now. And I think it's about that close relationship with the customers and building it to their needs, and the understanding of the kind of, like the environment and the use cases and the needs of our customers.
Well, it seems like having that support of the customers early on, really from day one, that says to me at least that there was a real need to be addressed within the fuel management space, and in these early days, probably specifically or exclusively to mining, if I'm correct. Does that wash with you? Is that
Yeah,
fair comment?
I think so. I think, when I came into the industry, what had been shown was, yeah, exactly as you said, there was a need. It's often, we quote sort of, the second largest operating expense after labor, or, it's a very large portion of their spend. They're in remote areas. They have a variety of different operational needs, contractors, their own equipment, just keeping track of their supply chain from an accounting perspective is complex. So, these are reasonably complex supply chains and large dollar values. So I think the need was there. but I think, yeah, as we sort of touched upon before, what was missing was the solution that was fit for purpose. And that's what I guess was the gap that we came in and really tried to fill.
Yeah. One of the common things you touched on earlier that because I'm going to ask you to what maybe the future might hold. I know that's a bit of a risky question to answer to pull out your crystal ball, but it seems to me that the rugged, robust, reliable solution, excuse me, is a constant within the company and a constant need or challenge within the industry.
Yeah,
To
look, I
stay
think
ahead of it.
a lot of the ultimate value that the customer gets is out of the data, right? But it's a requirement though to get that data that you have reliable and robust equipment, as you said. So it's a condition that precedent to any value that they do get out of the system, whether that be integrating into ERP systems, uh, reporting across different operations, whatever the case may be, is you need reliable, complete and data, and so yeah, it is a bedrock, or it is a foundation that all of that is built off, is that rugged and reliable hardware. But then there's sort of, I guess, there's more aspects to that as well now. As the solutions have migrated to the cloud, you also need reliable cloud infrastructure. You need to be across the needs of your customers from a cybersecurity perspective. You need to manage remote networks, whether they be cellular or on-site solutions as well. So I guess reliability really extends across the entire solution, and
It's a
the
broad
the
term,
hard
isn't it? Yeah, broad
yeah,
term.
and the hardware is a very visible component of that, but it all goes through your networks, into your cloud infrastructure, and into your applications, and really it's got to be reliable in some. And whilst I said the hardware is a visible part of that, it goes across the whole solution.
Finally, Sean, what's on the horizon for both VERIDAPT and sort of the fuel management space on the industrial level? Yeah.
Yeah, look, I think there's a few I guess trends or things going on at the moment that we keep a close eye on. One is obviously that there is an energy transition occurring, that there is going to be an increasing amount of electrification into fleets. There's going to be a mixture of biofuels and alternative fuels and traditional hydrocarbons for some period. So I think there's an increased complexity in the energy mix within industrial or mining fleets. So I think that's one sort of macro trend. I think that adds complexity for customers, particularly where they've got sort of mixed energy sources, mixed fleets. There's logistical challenges, there's procurement challenges, there's operational and maintenance challenges with all of that. So that would be one thing. I think the other thing is that there is a lot of technology in the mining and rail industries, the industries we predominantly serve at the moment, and I think sort of consolidating, bedding in, and extracting value out of those systems is another kind of key trend. I don't think, obviously there's, lots of, there's a constant stream of new technology, and, the rise of AI and the different use cases across industry. Obviously, all of those things will, there'll be continue to be new innovations, and there'll continue to be new things coming into the industries. But there is also a lot of things that are in place that could be better integrated, utilized more completely or more broadly across the organizations, integrated with other systems. So I think, yes, there's the headline innovation that you see a lot of, but there's also, I think, a consolidation and maturation of existing solutions that is occurring as well. So I think that's another aspect or component that is interesting, and I think is good for customers. That's where they're getting a lot of the value out of investments they've already made. And so I think that's another thing that we're keeping a close eye on.
Right. And safe to say, VERIDAPT is up to the challenge of the world ahead.
Yeah, look, I'd like to think so. I think, we being around for 20 years is no mean feat. A lot of companies would never make it that far. To sort of be continually, servicing the same industry and growing and developing a product for that amount of time is unique. So I think, yeah, there's some good evidence that yeah, we will be up for the challenge, and we will be around for that 20 years plus in the future. But you can't also be complacent. It is a pretty dynamic environment that we operate in, at a macro level, but also at an industry level. whether that be sort of margin pressure on our customers, changing energy mix, all of those things we've touched on. So yeah, I think we've built some good company culture and some good company DNA to be around, in the long term, and to continue to meet the challenges and needs of our customers. So I think, yeah, we can look forward to the future with some confidence.
Okay. Sean, good stuff. Thank you very much. Happy birthday to VERIDAPT. And again, appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. I really appreciate it.
Take care.
Thank you.